Saturday morning, UT football game today. Surprise, surprise. I was keeping everybody in suspicion whether or not I'd be live this morning, and we're live. So we're standing outside a significant church where something sad happened, and I'm going to talk about that later on in the program. Charles Van Morgan, YouTube Live. Please join me. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you want to. And also like and share. So let's see if we got any people in here. We'll have to wait just a minute, and I'll cover what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover this right here, a significant bad event happened to this church in the 90s that had a bearing on freedom of speech and involved a deadly a pursuit that ended up a deadly incident. So let's see if we got anybody on board. Thank you all. Charles Van Morgan. We'll go over what we're going to cover. This is just one thing we're covering this morning. Very interesting program, I think. So let me see if we got anybody. Okay, yeah, we got faithful follower. And here's my sign. Charles Van Morgan. Fraud elections. It's a little bit dark out. We're starting a little earlier than we usually do. I hope you can see me. I got a real nice fancy camera, and so even though it is dark, I hope you can see. So here's what we're going to cover today. The wind's blowing. I hope you can hear me. We're going to cover freedom of speech incident that happened at this church. It is Greystone Presbyterian Church. Nothing against the church. I've never been to the church. I have patrolled in this area, and so slow down on this road. There's no speed bumps, and the police doing their job like they'll slow you down the hard way with a ticket. And also remember, this time of year, when school starts, they're out writing speeding tickets and writing seatbelt tickets and cell phone tickets. So be careful. But we're going to cover this, what happened here at this church that ended up in a deadly incident by police impacting the First Amendment, which the case that we use, that I'll use, and have used in legal proceedings. And we're going to talk about, first we're going to talk about the election. People say I lost. Did I? Did I really lose? And then we're going to talk about some safety precautions that you need to take yourself. You can't always depend on the government. So emergency management issues. And then we're going to talk about, if we have time, if we don't, we'll do it another day, the ongoing saga with the police department. So we're gonna take it on the chin. It's not gonna knock us down and out, but we're gonna do the right thing and be the bigger person and look out for the public good, but also give you a little warning about that. So we're gonna cover those three things: the election, the emergency management issue, the police issue with the police department. We're going to be the bigger person. Tell you about the ongoing saga, what they've done, and you know, they had it out with me the other day. And then another thing, I'll show you a little sign I got. The main point in all this, one of the reasons why we're here, and toward the end, we'll tell you why we're here and what we're doing, what we're about. So come on in, Charles Van Morgan in the morning. A little surprise this morning. I kept people wondering if I was going to be on. And yeah, we're here. So contact your friends, Charles Van Morgan Live. We're walking down Chapman Highway with our sign, live now, trying to drum up some business. And we will get right into it as soon as we get some people in here. Let's see if we got anybody in here. So yeah, we got quite a few, and it's building up. We may go over some stuff if we get some new people. But we're going to talk about the election first. You know, I've ran for public office twice because I want people to vote, and I want to turn the government around in people's favor. I want to get government power back in, I had government powers in law enforcement, and I used it for the good. Lowered the fatality rate single-handed, and it's not just me saying that. There's a lot of retired supervisors that tell you that have tried to help me get my law license, but the dirty board of law examiners blackballing me. So I've ran for public office twice, and people say, well, you lost twice. I haven't lost anything. I haven't lost a damn thing. One of the ways I won is I met a lot of nice Tennesseans. Now, I ran for governor in 2022, and see, I got 2026 maybe, and ran on government corruption. Imagine that. You think I've changed my theme? I got right here on my sign, you can see it here, Tennessee government crimes cause hundreds to get killed. That was on my sign all over the state of Tennessee in 2021, 2022. And I knocked on about 30,000 doors. Just myself, all over the state, in every county in the state, and met a lot of nice Tennesseans. And such a wonderful privilege in my life to meet a lot of people, a lot of kind people. And people say I lost. Yeah, I don't have a lot of name recognition, didn't have a lot of money, but the door knocking worked. And I'll tell you how I know for a fact it worked, because I got votes. And I knocked on doors in every county, and I got votes in every single county. I wouldn't have got votes in every single county had not I knocked on doors, except one county. It's a very small county, has a very few votes, and they all went for the party elites. And I did get signs up, but it's a county I went to early. So, you know, a couple years before the election, so they forgot about me by then. But I got votes in 94 counties out of the 95 in Tennessee. So knocking on doors, me meeting people, shaking hands, resonated with somebody, a lot of people in every county in the state of Tennessee. The message of one of them is we need to bring the government to the people and listen to you all and take it away from the crooks and the dirty people that cause people to get killed. So that message resonated, and I got to meet such nice Tennesseans. And then I took a couple of years off and studied for the bar exam again, trying to get my law license. Trying to go through their system again. You know, the one that's set up for them, not for me. And it didn't work. I studied for the bar exam, passed the bar exam again. They still turned me down. So, you know, go through their system. You can try it. It don't work. And I'd advise you to try. You got to try. But they don't work for you, they work for themselves. And that's a tragedy in itself to Tennesseans, because they have lost a licensed attorney that could represent them in court against the dirty government. So I can't represent you in court, so I'll represent you out here on the streets. Where there's a will, there's a way. And I got a will that they will never overcome. They won't until my last breath. And I'm sure some of them like to do me in that way, but it ain't gonna happen. You know, I trust in God. So, and I knocked on, in this last election I ran for city council here in Knoxville. I had friends, close people tell me, run for a local election, so I did. And I got a lot of votes. I got 59 votes, and a lot of other candidates got a whole lot more. Every other candidate got more than me. Imagine that. I'm the best educated, got less votes. How does that happen? Well, they gave me 59. I think I got more than that. And you say, well, that's a horrible loss. No, it's not. It's not a horrible loss. Because one thing, I got to meet my neighbors. And that's a win. There's no way I could have lost this election. You know, I didn't win the office, but I didn't lose. There's no way I could have lost. I got to meet wonderful people. And I got to meet people's children. And you shared a few minutes of your lives with me, which was wonderful to me. I enjoyed it. I loved it, meeting people. Now, some people weren't so nice. And, you know, sorry, dirty people, which is fine. You know, ignore you and go on. You're wrong. You can vote for whoever you want to, but you shouldn't mistreat people. But I got to meet little children and their parents, and I got to listen to a lot of the issues in Knoxville. And one of the main issues is homelessness. And I ran on fighting the government dirty, and I'm the best in, most qualified in emergency management, one of the most basic functions of the government. But the reason why I got votes in anybody and the best qualified on the ballot is because of government, people in government power interference in the election. State-run media, state-run elections. That just shows you how the best people get put down, bar none. I got more education than anybody on the ballot. Even in the past, no one has had the associate business degree, the bachelor's business degree from a major university now, and also a Master of Arts in sociology, criminology, where I know a lot about the homeless issue and how to solve a lot of crime problems. I solved a lot of life saving when I was a trooper. So it's not just talking, it's putting my feet where the fire is, literally. You know what I'm talking about. So, and also the Master of Arts from the great University of Tennessee, sociology, criminology, and also emergency management training from the University of Tennessee, a class I made an A in emergency management for government. None of those people have that. So it's a loss. It's a loss for you Tennesseans, Knoxvillians that didn't get elected, and it's because of the state-run media like they have in Russia, where they say, vote for Putin, and then he goes to war against another country and invades their country. And we're not the resistance. We are the establishment because we're the people. They're the resistance. I'm not a protester. They're protesting me. I'm not protesting anybody. I'm saying vote. They're protesting me saying vote. I didn't arrest them for running for office. They arrested me. I wasn't protesting anything. I was handing out material concerning God and political speech. So that I didn't lose anything. Didn't lose anything. Met a lot of people, and thank you all. In spite of the state-run media, the elections that affected me adversely, people way not qualified got more votes than me. How does that happen? The state-run media, the government, the news channels, most of them, not every one of them. Channel 10 News straightened up and did me right. They have done me wrong in the past. They did me right. And but WVLT, you dirtbags, posted every one of the other candidates smiling pictures, and I'm just a shadow figure, says default candidate. When I go to ask you about that, and it's on one of my videos, you tell me to get off your property like I'm a dog or something. Just remember that, people here in Knoxville. WVLT thinks citizens are dogs. Even if I only got 59 votes, I got 59 people that ain't dogs. WVLT, let's ban that station. Don't watch WVLT, it's trash news until they apologize. I'm not unreasonable. They're unreasonable. I went to ask them a question. They don't mind showing up at your door when they got a got you moment, or they think they got a got you moment. They rigged something that ain't true, or you get falsely arrested and they post your mugshot on their page and do a whole long drawn out story about your arrest, and then when the case is dismissed, the charges were dismissed, and that's the end of it. They don't print all that. So one of the reasons why I didn't lose, but why I got so few votes, is state-run media. The other one is because of some of my positions. This is the inner city in Knoxville, and cities, Memphis, Nashville, although I've had good luck in Memphis, one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. One of the other reasons is the inner cities, the cities, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, And the cities out east further east are notoriously Democratic cities. And it's not that I'm anti-Democrat. I'm not. I believe in some of the Democratic viewpoints wholeheartedly. Got educated into them. I think everybody's responsible for themselves, but you have to fight where people put you. But my view on positions that are based on science about pro-life as far as possible, my positions aren't unreasonable. Pro-life as far as possible. I'm not forcing my beliefs on anybody, but they get misinterpreted and misconstrued, and people think that I'm trying to take women's rights, and that's not true. That's not true at all. I have the position that life is valuable and that we should protect unborn lives as far as possible. I'm not unreasonable about it. The people that are pro-abortion, some of them, not all, if you're pro-abortion, that don't mean you can't support me, but some of them are outrageously way far wrong in their belief. If a baby survives an abortion, they will think it's okay to murder it on the table when it could be saved. I mean, give it a break, you know. I mean, it survived your horrendous murder, and in some circumstances, you know, don't murder it on the table, and don't murder a child 10 minutes before it's born. And, you know, they had a case in Kentucky just here recently where a woman had a baby and they found it dead in a closet and they're charging her with murder. How much different is that? If she had had an abortion in a hospital by a doctor 10 minutes before it was born. But that's okay. But for her to murder it after it's born, it's not okay. I mean, let's be reasonable. There's got to be a point where we shouldn't murder or abort, however you want to call it, unborn children. I think people that are pro-abortion accept that. My beliefs are reasonable. I mean, I wouldn't want to illegalize all abortions. There are certain instances where I wouldn't personally, and don't believe in it, but I wouldn't think it'd be illegal for everybody. I wouldn't force my belief on everybody, but where it's perfectly clear that it's wrong in certain instances, 10 minutes before they're born, when they can live a perfectly healthy life, to say that's okay, that's between a doctor and a patient. That's not between a doctor and a patient. That's between four people. It's between a doctor, a patient, the baby that can't speak for themselves, that we need to speak for them, and you forgot one other person, God. Now, you better have your beliefs messed up with God, and I could probably win more votes if I said, you know, if I termed it in terms of reproductive freedom. It's not reproductive freedom. What about the reproductive freedom eventually of the child that they abort? But I could get more votes, but I'm not going to do that because that's not my values. I stand on my values. My positions about abortion, although they hurt me, are perfectly reasonable. And the people that are against me that reframe it are the ones that are unreasonable, not me. So that may have hurt me in the election somewhat. The main thing that hurt me is the state-run media. You see how many people I got here? Charles Van Morgan in the morning. We're going to cover a few more things. Yeah, I got quite a few. I expected it to be low on Saturday morning, but it surprised me. There's a football game today. Tennessee football starts today, so go Vols. So, but we're talking about the election. I didn't lose anything. Met nice people. The state-run media lowered my count to almost nothing. But 59 people ain't nothing. My position in the inner city up in Knoxville, I would have done better in the county. It hurt me, which I'm not going to change my position. It's perfectly reasonable. If you listen to me, if you're pro-abortion, it's perfectly a reasonable position. It may match. You think you're pro-abortion, it may match your position. So don't exclude me just because of that. You know, you shouldn't abort a child 10 minutes before they're born when they can have a happy, healthy life. And I don't think anybody that is sane and reasonable would agree with that. And that's what some of the people that are against me believe. So that position hurt me, not having the government proxy hurt my election chances. They got a small group of people. Their proxy is 900 that they do favors for, a large part of them. Some of them just jump on board with whoever the government says to vote for, which I don't blame them. That's what I used to do till I had a rude awakening and how dirty the government can be, and decided to stand up on my own 2 feet, not elect who they told me to elect, make my own choices. And that's what you should do. And nobody has to know who you vote for. Go in a voting booth and blacken Charles Van Morgan in, and I'll fight for your rights. So, and also, I can understand, it says in the Bible in John 3:16, a popular verse, and if you get out and meet people, you'll understand, for God so loved the world. And it's not talking about the planet Earth, the ground. It's talking about God so loved people on the planet that he made in his own image. And if you get out and meet people, there's wonderful people out here. And I met some wonderful people, and I can understand why God loves the world, why God loves people, and I do too. That's why I say at the end of a lot of my videos, God loves you and I do too. Now some of you I don't like very well. I wish you'd have a heart change. So the second prong of my, there's a legal terms, in legal terms they talk about prongs, elements of things. You meet the first element, or you meet the second element. The second goal of my political campaign, and even when I was running for governor, was to build my influence. Because my influence is backing up you, is listening to people in Tennessee and doing what you asked me to do. Hello. Doing what Tennesseans asked me to do, protecting the public, what I did when I had government power more than anybody in the state. So let's get past this air blower here. So, and I did that better than anybody. 900 troopers. I protected the public more than any of them. And the state did me dirty. So the second thing was to build up my online influence, to influence people in a way that protects the public, that protects you. And since the election is over, and just right the same day as the voting, my YouTube viewers went up significantly. Started out with getting hundreds of views on some videos, and then all of a sudden got 3,500, and then 4,000, and then 8,000, 9,000, all the way up to 12 and 13,000 views on my YouTube, that people that are listening to my voice. That represents you. I'm not doing this for me. And that's a lot of people. And thank you all so very much. God bless you all, I pray. Spread the message, like, share, increase your message, because I'm out here speaking for you, I'm telling you the truth. So the second goal of my campaign was to build up my platform, build up your platform so I can speak for you. And that has been astronomically, more than I could imagine, successful. And we're not done yet. Now, I'm not taking anything for granted. It might die off tomorrow. I don't think so, because we're going to keep working at it. And we've knocked on doors all over the state. People know me statewide, not everybody, but we're getting there. People know me all over the city. I knocked on every one of my neighbors' door in the city of Knoxville. How many neighbors you know that have done that? With my QR code that shows my YouTube page that you're listening to right now. And here it is. Right there's my QR code to my YouTube page. We'll see, yeah, we got quite a few people. And then also got a QR code if you want to contribute to your message, getting your message out. There's my square icon. Feel free to do that. If you don't have the money, that's fine. If you do and want to help me get your message out, then please do that. Please do that. It takes money to win elections. It takes money to run a successful YouTube channel. So, and if you want advertisement, we'll do that. But the second goal, the first was win the election. We didn't win the election because it was rigged. Second one, get your message out all over the state about government corruption. We need to vote these people out. And we have done that very successfully, building today. Thank you so much. And we've worked at that. This hasn't just came easy. I've knocked on doors all over the state, knocked on doors all over the city of Knoxville, and it's starting to resonate. I'm starting to get a lot of views, a lot of attention, and I appreciate it. It wasn't given to me, and I feel like we have earned it. So thank you all. It's not possible without you all. Thank you all. Continue listening. So the second prong of the campaigns have been extremely successful. I haven't lost anything. And thank you all. So we're still going forward. And then let's move on to another issue. Since I lost the election, and then lastly, if we have time, we're going to cover the ongoing saga with the police department and the suppression of freedom of speech. But I'm going to be the bigger person. The next issue I want to cover, and talking about that I'm your voice speaking for you. I want to bring a few things to your attention that I know about emergency management, and talk about a few things. Because I didn't win the election, I'm not in public power. When I was in public power, I provided public safety. So I can't implement public policies to keep everybody safe. You know what happened in California was horrific, where they didn't have the fire hydrants filled with water. They had low water pressure because they weren't prepared. Emergency management wasn't prepared. And they knew they had fires. That was horrific. People got killed. And then in Texas, where they had little children that were killed, hundreds statewide in the flood that happened just recently. Emergency management was asleep because it was the middle of the night. Safety of the public, if you're in government office, doesn't sleep at night, or you're not doing your job. And I knew that, and I did that. I worked mostly at night when I was in government service because nobody else wanted to. So the street lights just went off. We're getting a little daylight. Let me see how many people. So we'll continue this emergency management. Some measures you can take to protect yourself. I'm going to go over from my training and just some commonsensical things to try to protect you all, so that you can enjoy your families and enjoy your life, not die prematurely, and also so you can vote. You know, dead people don't vote, or maybe, wait a minute now, maybe they do. Pardon the pun. But let's see how many people we got, and we'll cover some safety measures that you can take that I think you should. And you probably know these, just to remind you to stay 6 foot above ground. I mean, that's the goal, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah, we got a bunch of people on here. Thank you all so much. So we got one like. Hit the like button if you like what you're hearing. So let's talk about safety measures. Since I didn't win the public office because state-run media wants Putin to invade Ukraine, wants the people in power that aren't trained to conduct policies that provide for public safety. They got their own agenda, which has little to do with public safety. So, and I hope I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, which they won't give us. I hope they learn some public safety measures, emergency management issues, and work together with public safety, because that's one of the main functions of the government. So let's talk about some emergency management things, just basic things that you can do to just remind you. Now, one of them is listen to the weather forecast. Weather will kill you. I listened to Todd Hall on WBIR, and you listen to your favorite newscaster or radio, the weather person, and pay attention to their warnings. Have a radio battery powered in case the power goes out. But pay attention to the warnings about the weather. You know, when I was on patrol as a police officer, I was training somebody, and we had alerts on the radio about tornado warnings, and actually saw tornadoes. Now, scared the living hell out of me, real tornadoes, and there's tornado warnings. So I'm headed for, when I hear the warnings, I'm headed for cover, you know, under a bridge or someplace, in a patrol car, someplace sturdy, someplace to provide a little protection. And the trainee I had with me, he said, "You're scared, aren't you?" It's like, yeah, I am very scared, and I'm gonna go take precautions. Now, there are things that you should be afraid of. One of them is the weather. People sit in Florida through a hurricane. Get out of Dodge. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take precautions to protect yourself. When you hear a warning of a major flood, rainfall, potential flood, you know, if you have to get to higher ground, take precautions to protect yourself. Listen to the weather forecast. Also, go on your phone and hit the gear icon and go down to emergency messages and click on the messages where you'll receive emergency text messages specifically about the weather, because the weather can kill you. So just some practical things. Pay attention to your weather alerts. Get it on your phone where you receive emergency messages. The other thing about emergency management is hundreds of children die every year in fires. We're getting close to winter. Just some practical stuff. You know, get a smoke detector. Get a carbon monoxide detector. Have it in your house. And also, the way I remember is on my birthday. Because if I want to live to another birthday, I'll change the battery. So remember, on your birthday, if you want to live, continue to live, don't want to burn up in a fire, I hate to put it that way, but change the battery every birthday in your carbon monoxide detector. If you have one, and most importantly, a smoke detector, have a smoke detector, a radio, have a plan where you can meet, a communication plan where you can meet if your family is dispersed in an event of a horrific emergency. Of course, when it's safe. Tennessee has 2 earthquake potential major faults. So, you know, stay inside, get under furniture, cover your head, and take precautions in case we have a major earthquake. Now, I'm not trying to scare people. I'm trying to, the way you deal with emergencies, if you know there's a potential of an emergency, a potential of some type of tragedy, you try to avoid it. And if you can't avoid it, you try to mitigate the damages. And one of the first things is early warning, which will give you time to take precautionary measures. Some other basic things that, you know, staying alive 6 foot above ground is, a lot of people don't know this. Real simple. Stay out of the damn road. Don't get in the road. The road will kill you. People just walk down the road like it ain't nothing and dare cars to hit them, and you're a brave soul. You had the right of way, but you're dead. Stay out of the damn road. Now, let's see how many people got on here now, and I'm going to talk about some staying out of the road issues and how I taught my children to stay out of the damn road. So yeah, we got a bunch of people on here. So when I was, when my children, my 2 boys were about 7, 8 years old, I had to go to work in the morning, and I worked for a police department, and they had to catch the bus, and I couldn't wait with them to catch the bus, and they had to catch the bus as a dead-end road, but they had to catch the bus there on Sevierville Pike at the end of our dead-end street where Sevierville Pike was, and I couldn't wait out there with them because I had to be at work, and Michelle worked, and I was afraid they'd get out in the road. and get killed, get to fighting or something. They did that, pushed each other around. You know, two boys, I taught them to be little men. I taught my boys, if you come home from school and you're beat up and crying and you didn't fight back, I'll give you a whooping again. Somebody tries to hurt you, you fight back. Don't take it. I won't put up with cowardness. Now, I'm not saying they were coward, but you can ask them. I raised two big fine men, and they're not to be messed with. I guarantee you they're not to be messed with. My boys, Joshua and Andrew, and my daughter too, she's not to be messed with either. But she's a lady, but you don't mess with her. But my two fine young men, Josh, Andrew, and Larissa, my daughter, I didn't want to let them get hit by a car, and I could have told them don't get out on the road, but they would have not let that go in one ear and out the other. And I was afraid they'd die, get hit in the road. So the only thing I could do is maybe be late for work. Maybe I should have done that, I don't know. Or put it in their mind significantly, stay out of the road. It's how important it is to stay out of the road. So I got my oldest son, Josh. I was thinking how I could be impactful to put it in his mind. Don't get in the road. This is important. I'm saying something, ding, ding, you need to pay attention to. So I walked up to my son, Josh, and got him standing in front of me. And I punched him pretty hard in the gut. I mean, you know, enough to rock his world, get his attention. And he's like, "Oh, Dad, what'd you do?" You know, unexpectedly. "Oh, what'd you do that for?" And it didn't break any bones or anything, but it was pretty impactful. And I said, "You see how hard that felt, how bad that felt?" And he said, "Yeah." And my other son was laughing, laughing at his older brother because I punched him in the gut. About that time I walked up to him before he could do anything. I punched him in the gut, pretty hard. Oh, he bent over too, Andy. "Oh, Dad, what'd you do that for?" And I said, listen, Josh, Andy. I said, you can ask him if I did this. I said, if you get out in the road, it'll hurt 10 times worse than that. It can kill you. Stay out of the road. It'll hurt worse than that. And you know, my kids know stay out of the damn road. And that's just a good lesson. That's how Charles Van Morgan's way of training his two young men. And I didn't hurt them, but I made a point. And they know to stay out of the road. Teach your children to stay out of the road. People stay out of the road. Now, let me tell you this, and I've seen this happen a lot, is people will be driving down the interstate and somebody will be needing some help, have a flat tire needing change, or somebody out waving needing help, and people will stop and they'll run out on the interstate and get killed. What good does it do if you run out on the interstate to help somebody and get yourself killed? Stay out of the road. You don't have to help people. It's not legally required for you to help people. They can't sue you for driving by and calling star THP. It's not THPP. If you're calling for help, it's star THP. If you're trying to get them to act honestly in the court of law, it's THPP. Now, not all of them. Some of them, though. The upper brass, the upper echelons, some of them drunks, but I'm just saying. But call for help. You don't have to stop and help people. And if you do help people, remember, if you're on the road, there's a car, you're out in public in a vehicle, you can get run over by cars. So don't lose sight of your own personal safety and protection. One of the first things they taught us in law enforcement is that on a call is arrive safely. You can't help anybody else if you don't keep yourself safe. So you got to keep yourself safe in whatever situation. So if you're pulling over to help somebody, if you want to do that, I wouldn't. I would call for help for them, for law enforcement, people that have a gun. There's a lot of people that pull over to help people, and it's a set up a ruse to kill them. And so I wouldn't take a chance. You don't know who you're running into on the side of the road. I would call professionals, and even police officers get killed trying to help people. But they know what they're getting into, and they've been trained. So be careful, and that's my emergency management point, is stay out of the road. Be careful. If you want to stay alive, stay out of the road. I have this theory that it's kind of a joke, but maybe it'll drive the point home. A lot of people get to heaven, maybe the other place, and they say, they don't know what happened. They say, why am I here? What happened? And the angels tell them, do you remember when you drove down the interstate and you were in the fast lane, you see somebody in the emergency lane on the other side waving for help, and you pulled over and you ran across the interstate to help them? You were doing good. That wasn't a good idea. It didn't work out for you because there was a truck coming, and you were so focused. Here I am, and you were so focused on helping somebody and doing good that you didn't take care of yourself. And your kids are fatherless, or your kids are motherless now, and you could have just kept going. So don't be a dead hero. Stay out of the road. Another thing is about your personal protection. You can't depend on the government. You have to depend on yourself to take measures for yourself. A lot of people have guns. I do. I keep one with me all the time. But with guns, you have to be careful because people get killed in accidental shootings. Police, and you're taught this in law enforcement, every call that an officer arrives on, there's at least one gun involved. It's the officer's gun. And a lot of officers get killed by their own gun. It gets taken away from them. So there are bad issues about having a gun. So if you choose to have a gun, which I do, it's your own personal choice. If you don't want one, that's fine. But be careful with it. You can have gun accidents. The other thing is keep them secured. People can steal them. They steal them all the time. Keep them secured. And also, little children find them in houses and end up shooting themselves. Make sure they're unloaded and safe, or put in a lockbox where they are not accessible to little children. So we got these little signs up here: downtown stop and go, 15-minute limit, use flashers. We'll cover this in a minute. This used to be a taxi parking space. Yeah, interesting how this happened. So keep your guns secured. Be careful with them. I would recommend getting one with a safety on them, so that at least if you have to use one and it gets taken away from you by a bad guy, then they probably don't know where the safety is. So at least you know where the safety is, where if you have to use it, you can turn it off. That might give you a little added extra second. And if you want home protection, the best gun for home protection is the trusted and true, and firearms experts will tell you this, a shotgun with buckshots. You don't even have to be a good shot, because in the heat of the moment, you're not going to shoot very well, probably. So a shotgun is the best home defense, in my opinion, and police departments still carry shotguns to this day. And that's, if you have to go to a gunfight, people will tell you, if you have to go to a gunfight, and you're going to a gunfight, policemen have a gun on their side, different caliber guns, but if they know they're going to a gunfight, that's not the best weapon to use. The best weapon to use, if you know ahead of time you're going to a gunfight, is a shotgun. So that's just a sidearm, is just for quick, easy access. So that's the thing about guns. Hopefully we still got some people in here. Hopefully this isn't boring material. I'm just trying to tell you how to keep safe. We're going to get into the First Amendment and the ongoing saga with the police department here in just a second. If I got some time, y'all want to hang on, or we could do it tomorrow. So y'all tell me in the comments. You want me to keep talking, or talk about what I just showed you and discuss the ongoing saga with the police department tomorrow? Or not tomorrow, Monday. I'm not going to be on here tomorrow. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Let's turn this around and see. Says Charles Van Morgan in the morning, Unbridled News. We got a bunch of people on here. And let me get my four eyes out here so I can see what the deal is. See if y'all want me to continue or close out this and get to my last point, which is what we can do about all this. Let's see what y'all say. What do y'all say in the comments? Let me read it. Hell these days. Yeah, what is a woman? I only do cocaine on days that end with Y. Robert, you're doing good. Thank you. A woman is someone you can't get. Let's see. Let's go up. Just got on channel. Thank you, Bob Gresham. What are you talking about? Well, I done explained exactly what I was talking about. Gave an outline in detail. So if you can't keep up, I hate that for you. What's the subject? Okay, the subject matter is that we'll recap. That I didn't win. I didn't lose anything by losing the election. That we won. We got an online presence, and I'm talking about emergency management issues. The heck is Charles Van Morgan? Yeah, you're just going to be a smart. Where are you headed to? I'm headed to a place to prove a point. The point of the walk is to do a morning broadcast. You're walking in your pajamas? No, I'm wearing this is a Tommy Hilfiger shirt. So you see the little emblem there. This is a football game day. I got on my patriotic hat here for the football, but I'm doing outside the norm, wearing not a UT shirt, because everybody wears one on these days, and I'm not going along with what everybody does. So yeah, okay. You're doing good. Okay, so there's anybody have a comment if you want me to talk about the ongoing saga with the Knoxville Police Department? I just want to show you, and we'll just do this tomorrow. We've been on here 46 minutes, and we got several people on here. So thank you all for the likes. Subscribe, help build the channel. We'll talk about this with you tomorrow, about the ongoing saga with the police department here, and we'll talk about the First Amendment. At the beginning of the video, I showed you a church, Greystone Presbyterian Church, where a incident happened that later involved a pursuit. And this was happening when I was a UT police officer. I wasn't involved in the incident, but a UT police officer, Vince Knife, he's now deceased, got in pursuit of these people. And it ended up being a incident where someone was killed, not in the pursuit. After the pursuit ended in a foot chase with the Knoxville Police Department. And they ended up accidentally killing somebody. I'm going to talk about that. And then it ended up in the First Amendment case. And that relates to this situation over here, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Keep you wondering. This where the Knoxville Police Department, because of, I think, political reasons, this was a taxi space. Because of my political speech, look what it is now. Let me turn it around and show you. It is a 15 minutes, not taxi only. You can watch that video where the police told me I had to move. And now I would have to move after 15 minutes, but at the time I didn't. They were accusing me of trying to build up a case for disorderly conduct when the guy, which I wasn't, they were trying to arrest me for my personality. Yeah, the personality police. Well, if you don't like my personality, don't call me to my car and harass me. The person who was being disorderly was the Hilton employee, the corporate employee that was lying right in front of the police officers. And we'll talk about that Monday morning, about the First Amendment case and the ongoing saga. You can see here they've changed that, and we'll talk about that. Tomorrow, the First Amendment case, and it relates to the Greystone Church that I showed you earlier. And it relates to, now they've moved the parking space away from me. The taxi parking made it parking for everybody, which used to be a taxi parking. And we'll talk about that Monday morning at about 6:30, 6:45. We're going to get off here. And there's still some more emergency management issues that precautions you can take. We may go over some more of those Monday, just basic commonsensical things. And if you want to hear the ones I've said, just rewind the tape. And the last thing I want to cover is this right here, and we'll do this Monday. While we're here, the main reason why we're here is to get you all to vote. Voters of Tennessee Enraged, VOTE, Voters of Tennessee Enraged. Or you could also say voted to Tennessee encouraged at times. But that's what this is about. Now we're going to go down here to the city county building and post this flyer, and I'm going to get off here, but I'll show it to you tomorrow. We're going to post this flyer right here. It is the same thing as my sign. We're going to use these pins to post it on the bulletin board outside of the city county building since election's over. We're going to use these little things and put it there before maybe a bunch of people can see it during the football game day. And I'm going to mention, it's on my Facebook page. If you like my UT football shirt, the one I had on the other day, I don't have it on today because I want to be different. Nothing special about wearing a UT football game shirt on UT football game day, except for you mesh in, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not going to the game. I got to work. So we wore this Tommy Hilfiger shirt, and I'm going to post this, and I'll show you Monday, hopefully, that I post this. Excuse me, let me get me something to drink here and finish this video off. Thank y'all so much for watching. We certainly appreciate it. God bless you all. Vote is the reason why we're here. Vote. I showed you the little card. And we'll be back on Monday. If you need a shirt, a UT football shirt, go to my Facebook page. There's a link to it on my this page, YouTube page. And there's a place you can buy a really fancy, great UT football shirt from a lady and her husband that I met when I was in my campaign. One of the fine people I met in Knoxville, one of my neighbors, and they're beautiful shirts. UT football shirts, got their number on them. I bought a black one, got the Nike emblem and the number of a player that's on the team that is here from Knoxville. So go buy a shirt from her if you want a beautiful shirt. It's my campaign day shirt. Also visit the bed store down here at Chapman Highway in Moody. Let me have one of my signs. A Vietnam veteran runs that store. And also on the UT campus, the market on the corner of Market Street and Bridge Avenue. Visit that place. They let me have a sign. That man's so kind down there. Also Safe Taxi. That's my business. If you need a ride here in Knoxville, I'll be out all day. And call anytime. You prefer you text, and that helps save me time, because I may be talking to somebody else, and if you can just text me your name, where you're at and where you're going, and we'll come and pick you up. We're licensed and inspected, insured. So yeah, do that. And also any other businesses, for a small fee, we will advertise your business. Got 100,000 people that have looked at this channel. About 60,000 in the past month. So we've got an audience, and God bless y'all. Thank you all so much. Like, share, comment, and I've already read your comments. We'll get off here. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. Until Monday morning at 6:30, join us. Have your friends join us. Charles Van Morgan Live, YouTube. Bye-bye.